Welcome, everybody, to Inside the Cardinal Playbook, the coach's show for William Jewell College Athletics. I'm Rick Cole, and our first guest today is track and field coach Tom Eisenhauer. Welcome, Tom.
Good morning, Rick.
A big weekend for you at Pittsburgh State. You just got back from Texas a week before. Was the weather just as nice at Pitt State as it was down in Texas?
Well, I can't say it was as nice, but for March, it was pretty much as perfect a day as you can get. And we had temperatures in the 60s. By mid-afternoon, the wind died down. Ideal conditions for track and field.
Yeah, that helps, doesn't it? It helps kids.
Absolutely, but it was warm too, and so that doesn't always happen in March. I mean, it could have snowed, and so we're pretty happy with what we got.
How did you do? Want to break it down for us a little bit?
Yeah, we did really well. It was not scored meet, so we have no team scores to report. But on the individual side, we had a lot of great things, a lot of personal bests, both season bests and career bests. Probably highlighting the week was freshman Gretchen Mays, who broke the 100-meter dash record. The existing record was held by Jasmine Bernard, set in 2008, I believe, 12.66, and she ran 12.64. So she's a freshman. Great way to start her career. Only her second outdoor meet here at Jewell, and but to be honest, that's why we recruited her. That's what we expected her to do. So, but she's feeling pretty good about that. She also placed 7th in the long jump. Margaret Perko, a name we're all too familiar with. She was 2nd in the long jump. Performed really well there, and also placed 4th in the hurdles. Our men's throwers did exceptionally well, improved upon all their marks, and Blake Alexander, unfortunately for me, good for him, in the 400-meter hurdles, he bumped me down one spot on the Jewell all-time top 10.
So, as a competitor, right.
As a competitor,
I'm with you.
So his time that he ran this weekend was faster than my best as a collegiate. So good for him.
Yeah. I can see the competitor and you're coming out a little bit here, but I'm sure that when that happens, you are okay with that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what we want. That's records are made to be broken, and I want to see people exceed and do better.
Right. Do you get off the bus and want every kid to have a personal best in each event? Is that the goal each and every time out, or do you set other marks that you want them to hit?
With each individual, we will sit down and we'll talk about progressive goals, and so we have an end-of-the-season goal where we would like them to be at the end of the season. For some, we've actually got multi-year goals where we're saying we'd like you to hit this mark by the end of the year.
You look that far ahead.
We do, and because it's a fitness-based sport, and so everything we do takes a long time, and so knowing that where we want somebody at the end of their senior year, there are things we've got to do by the end of their freshman year, by the end of their sophomore year. And so we do set those goals, and even within each year, we'll say, here's where we want to be. By this meet, next week, we're going to go a little bit faster, until we get to the end of the season. And, the other thing, too, is we talked about the weather a little bit already, but, you get a cold, crummy day, and that's going to affect performances in times. If you're a discus thrower and you get a really good wind, that thing will fly. So, there are some things that are out of your control.
Finally, as you get ready for the team-scored events, as you said, especially the GLVC meet, are you starting to see maybe strengths in your team? I mean, are there certain areas on the men's side and women's side that you can count on for points, that you will be able to count on for points?
It's tough to say that you can always will count on stuff, but I do feel pretty strong about our throws and our sprints. And we've had a couple of mid-distance runners who have really started to shine here the last couple of weeks. Junior Paul Goldsmith has performed very well in the 1500 and the 800, and sophomore Uriah Hetty has also performed well in both those events. And so, those are guys that could pop up and squeak a few points for us at the conference meet. But in our hurdles and our sprints and our throws, I think are probably our strongest spots right now.
All right, Tom, thank you for coming in, and congratulations on your success at Pitt. When do you run again?
We'll run this weekend. We'll go to Southwest Baptist University, and the week after that, we'll bring everybody home, and we'll have our annual Darrell Gorley Open, which is our lonely home track and field meet of the year. But that'll be a big event because we will not only do the track meet, but we're also going to do a Cardinal 5K road race to try to raise money and awareness for Clay County CASA, which is an organization that works on behalf of abused and neglected children here in Clay County. So, not to mention the high school meet on Friday. So next week is a big weekend, but we'll take it one week at a time, I suppose.
All right. Tom Eisenhauer has been our guest inside the Cardinal Playbook, and we are back with more after this.
Hi, I'm Rachel Callaghy, Head Connections Specialist with Welcome Opportunities, the Northland's only target marketing firm that specializes in turning the thousands of new residents who move to our area each year into your customers. We are the advertising option that's never turned off, torn up, or tossed out. At least not yet, anyway. So if you're looking for the most cost-effective way to reach prospective customers before your competitors, give me a call today at 816-883-8633 or visit my website at welcomeopportunities.com.
Tanner's is new to Liberty, just south of the Highway 152 and I-35 intersection. They're open Sunday through Tuesday from 11 a.m. until midnight and Wednesday through Saturday from 11 until 1:30 a.m. Come in any day for food specials in the spacious dining area. Happy hour specials are served from 2 spots in the building, and the service is fast and friendly. Tanner's of Liberty, just south of the Highway 152 and I-35 intersection. Welcome back, everybody, to Inside the Cardinal Playbook, the coaches show for William Jewell College Athletics. And I think this is the first time we've had Joel Lueken, our Associate AD, with us. Welcome. I know we've got a lot of things we could talk about, but let's focus on what's coming up this summer. The Cardinal Classic Golf Tournament has a new date, and let's talk about that first of all. Why change it from homecoming to the summer?
Well, first and foremost, if you look around the nation, a lot of your institutions, especially your Division II and the GLVC institutions, they have their golf tournament during the summer. This allows all of your coaching staff, or hypothetically all of your coaching staff, to participate. When it was around homecoming, our volleyball coach couldn't participate. Sure. Our football coach and staff couldn't participate. Our soccer coach and staff couldn't participate. It's difficult to get everybody involved, even with the institutional administration, because there's just so much going on during homecoming. So potentially June 14th is the date that we've scheduled for it. So we're hoping we can get 100% participation from our coaches and entire athletic staff.
Yeah, boy, I think it's a great idea. I don't get to participate because usually we have soccer at home, so I'm looking forward to that. Not only the 14th for the tournament, but the 13th that will be a big day too, the Friday before at Belvoir Winery. Yes, yeah, we're going to have a social and an auction. We've got numerous auction items already on hand. But the Belvoir Winery, here down on 291 South, just south of campus, we're going to have a social and an auction, and it should be a good time. Another thing, Joel, I think that maybe we should talk about is the networking opportunities for businesses who want to become a sponsor of this tournament or have some kind of appearance there of some kind. Absolutely, absolutely. It gives an opportunity for any of our corporate partners to step up and have a table, play in the golf tournament, play on a specific team. If you've got a particular coach that you know well and you want to play on his or her team, you're more than welcome to do that. And then opens up an opportunity for new business for corporate partners. If you want to come out, get involved with our alumni and our coaching staff, the more the merrier as far as we're concerned. What I'd like to know is that, I don't golf a lot anymore, but for people that maybe just golf casually, is this an okay place to play? I mean, are these guys really, really good? No, this is all about having fun. We're going to have for the first time this year, we're going to have a traveling trophy to maybe have a little more buy-in from some of our teams that are up in that upper level of playing. Traditionally, over the last couple of years, it's been the same group of guys that want to imagine that they're former golf alumni. Oh wow! So, but no, it's an opportunity to get out and interact with fellow alums that maybe you haven't seen in a while. Our coaching staff, our athletic administration, and even some of our administrators from up on the hill, so to speak. On campus. Well, in previous tournaments, I imagine it's the same this year. You've had contests within the golf tournament too. Can you talk about what maybe some of the plans are for those? You bet. We've got an ask out to one of the car dealerships. In the past, it's been Westfall Odell Motors out of Excelsior Springs. They're in the middle of deciding whether they want to continue to do it or not. If they don't, I'll be reaching out to other car dealerships or other individuals. But we usually have hole-in-one contests on all the par threes. For example, on number 13, 165-yard shot. Last year it was for a Buick Regal. If you hit the hole-in-one, you get yourself a car. Nice. And then there are three other par threes on the course.
And then we usually have a closest to the pin that accompanies that. So if you're closest to the pin, you're going to win a gift certificate to, Gates Barbecue or something like that.
That'll be nice. Yeah. Where does the money go to? You talked about specific sports, but we've talked about it as being the fundraiser for Jewel Athletics. How important is it? Yeah, it's very important. It's extremely important. All of our teams, have to fundraise. It's an expectation at every level. Division I from Ohio State, Texas to, Division III, junior college or whatever. And we're not any different than anybody else. The funding is going to go to help the athletic department. Like I said earlier, whether it be a specific team or the athletic department as a whole, what we would like to do is get some upgrades in our weight room right now. Coach Nelson has got a really good plan phased for us to make progress in the weight room, either by buying new dumbbells, some new racks, getting some paint, some fresh paint up on the wall, just making it an overall better experience for our athletes. And then the same goes for our fitness room down here. We've got an opportunity to enhance that, which should enhance our athletes and our athletic experience. Joel, if you would, before we go away, would you again go through it chronologically, the dates, what's happening on each day? You bet. And tell us how to register for it as well. You bet. Well, you can register, first of all, by going to www.jewelcardinals.com. It's a splash page right now. We're working on getting that a direct link so you can pay either online or you can print the brochure off and mail it in. Or you can call me at 816-415-5295 or drop me an email at Lueken, Luekenj, at william.jewel.edu. But June 13th will be the social and auction at the Belvoir Winery, held at the Belvoir Winery. You'll have interaction with all the coaching staff, all the athletic administrators, and numerous other individuals, including alumni and community members of Liberty. And then Saturday, we have the golf tournament in the morning. Registration is from 8 a.m. until 9:45. Shotgun tee off at 10 o'clock until over with. We'd really appreciate if you could register before June 2nd. It's not that we won't have the availability to register after June 2nd, but it just helps us prepare for the food. Hy-Vee to prepare for the food on the 14th, and then also to get the carts lined up for Cardinal Hill. It's just kind of a courtesy for our people who are helping us out. Joel, thank you. Appreciate you coming in, and we hope everybody will take advantage of a chance to play golf this summer. Again, it's June 14th, the Cardinal Classic Golf Tournament. We're back with more Inside the Cardinal Playbook in just a moment.
Before the game or after the game, it's Poor Boy Oil Company for your pre- and post-game food and beverage. ConocoPhillips and BP Amoco Fuels get you to the game, and our large vendors give you great food and beverage choices before or after the game. Our small-town roots and family value philosophies help us to maintain the highest standards in customer service and value. Poor Boy Oil Company. Find us around the Northland, wherever the Cardinals fly. At Poor Boy Oil Company, we want to meet people interested in joining our family. Employment benefits include paid vacations, health care, life insurance, and 401k plans. If you are growth-oriented, flexible, focused on high quality, analytical, and have common sense, you have what it takes. If you are interested in exploring a career opportunity with Poor Boy Oil Company, please take a moment to apply online at poorboyoil.com.
Welcome back to Inside the Cardinal Playbook, the coach's show for William Jewell College Athletics. And joining us is the women's and men's tennis coach, Lanny Wake, who takes over for Paul Worstel, who has been out for the year with, we'll talk about his health issues here in a moment. But first of all, welcome.
Oh, thank you very much. Good to be here.
You were Paul's tennis coach in high school, is that right?
Right. I was his elementary teacher, too.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Goes
back a long time.
How did you end up here on the staff?
I retired in the spring of 2010, and prior to that, Paul had contacted me and asked me if I wanted to come coach at Jewell, and I told him, sure, when do I start? So that was basically about in February, and by the end of May, I was down here with Paul and starting to work on the next season.
You're still coaching at the high school level, though, aren't you?
Yes, I'm still at Cameron, getting ready to start my 34th year at Cameron.
34th year as a wrestling coach.
Yes.
Are there any similarities between coaching wrestling and coaching tennis?
To a certain degree there are, because you've got individual sports, you've got individuals, and you've got to try to bring individuals together as a team. And that's the challenge a lot of time is, to get them to play not only to play well for themselves, but play well for the teammates. And when they accept the team aspect, that's when you have really good teams and really good seasons.
Let's talk about how things are going here at Jewel this spring. And I don't know where you want to start, women or men, whatever you pick. But tell us a little bit about how the season's gone.
Well, I think the season's gone pretty tough. It's pretty tough when you're down to one coach coaching. In college, you have athletes all that can play. At the high school level, in my experience coaching in high school, a lot of times you'd have 3 or 4 players that were pretty good. You could coach and help, but at the college level, you've got 6 singles, 3 doubles teams, and everybody can play. And it makes it difficult at times trying to get around and to try to watch matches when you've got.
Because they play at the same time.
Yes, you've got 8 matches going on at the same time, and it's very difficult to watch.
Who's had the most success for you this year?
Oh, man, I think, I've been down the line. On the women's side, I think that Connor Hazelrig has had a really good season. As of right now, she's undefeated, and she's playing in the lower part of the lineup, 5 and 6, but we played some pretty good opponents this year, and she's done very well.
Okay. Any other women that have played well?
I think so, definitely so. Katie Lambauer and Kristen Stivers have played very well at number 1 for us, and in the fall, they did very well. They've done well in the spring. In the fall, Savannah Drew played extremely well. She won the tournament in Salina, which is a very difficult tournament, a 32 draw there. So, she's played very well in the fall, and she continues to play well in the spring. As
a team in the GLVC, who are the top teams out there?
Oh, this year, on the women's side, Maryville has really reloaded their lineup. They basically brought a whole new team in. Maryville's real tough this year. We've played Rockers. Rockers was real tough this year. Drury always is tough. And we have UMSL coming up this weekend. They're usually pretty tough. So I think those are probably about the top 4 teams on the women's side. On the men's side, Drury's real tough. Rockers right now is ranked 49th. They've got a real good program. So those are probably the 2 top teams on the men's side.
Lanny, who are your top individual players on the men's side?
Playing number 1 for us this year is Brian Thomas, and he's done very well. He's played number 2 for us the past 3 years. Playing number 2 is Jimmy Hunter, and he's played lower in the lineup the past 2 or 3 years. At 3 right now is Max Cooper, and Max is doing very well at number 3 this year.
Good, good. Do you have, and I know because a lot of times you play the individual matches, the singles matches, but a doubles team that's done well for you?
I think, Chris Reimer and Max Cooper have done very well this year. They've been playing lower in the lineup, number 3, but they've done very well playing at number 3. I think it's very difficult playing them because they're both left-handed.
Really?
And I think that that causes a lot of teams a lot of problems, especially if you have a number 3 team that both players are left-handed.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Absolutely.
We touched a little bit on Paul Worstel's health. The head tennis coach for William Jewell has been out almost a year now. Maybe it has been a year with leukemia. He's in isolation right now and recovering well, doing well. Right. What is his prognosis for rejoining the team this year?
I don't foresee Paul being back this year. He was diagnosed basically last year, May 13th, and he's been gone since then. He's at about day 71 out of 100. And I do believe the 29th of April is his last meeting with the doctors before he's released, if everything goes well. So, more than likely our season will be over by then. So as far as him rejoining the team this year, I don't see that happening.
What kind of input has he had? I know he's able to obviously talk, and I think he's even been out to maybe watch a match from a distance. But what kind of input does he have still with this team?
I think he just, as far as the input is more on the recruiting side right now. That's something he's able to do. But as far as the coaching and being at practices, that's something he's not been able to do for the whole season.
What does the postseason hold for you? Is there a championship tournament?
It's going to be really tough. It's going to come down to a couple matches this weekend. We've got Quincy at home. Finally have a home match.
Yeah.
we've been on the road since first week in October of last year. So it'll be nice to be at home for a match. And we have Quincy on Friday and we have UMSL on Saturday. And, that's going to very possibly determine whether our teams make postseason or not.
And in the 16-team conference, do you need to finish in the top 3 in the Western Division? And then is that the way it goes? Top 3?
Four. Top four go.
There's no wild card?
No wild card.
Okay, so the top 4 in each side.
Yes.
All right.
Top 4 qualify, and they'll play in St. Louis the week of the 20th, 21st.
Well, best of luck, Joe. I hope the weather holds for you this weekend.
I do too. It's been a rough spring. The weather hasn't been really good for tennis.
Yeah. The springtime in Missouri, maybe not so good for that kind of stuff. All right, we thank you for coming in, Coach, and we'll be back with more Inside the Cardinal Playbook following this.
I'm Jesse Limekiller, the CEO of Belvoir Winery. You can reach us at www.belvoirwinery.com. We grow Norton, Chamberson, Vignole, and Muscat on the site. We have mature vines, 7 to 10 years of age behind the buildings, and then we have 2 new vineyards that have just started up. We have a full bar available, and then in addition, a lot of people like to wander around the property. You can take your drinks and wander through the property and see all the things that there are to see on site. My name is Jesse Limekiller, CEO of Belvoir Winery, 110 years in the making.
The shopping in my family is done primarily by myself, but my husband comes along and helps me as well.
And I'm always asking her, now, do you remember to use your Fuel Saver card?
It is instant savings on any product on the Fuel Saver program every single week. We've saved hundreds.
No, it's not quite hundreds yet.
Oh, yes, it has.
It's $1, $2, $3.
Yeah.
And yeah, it could be well into the hundreds by now.
Yeah, by now it has.
1-1 pitch, right at Greenwood. She has to tag the runner, and finally realizing that, she does it. Eileen just about made that more complicated than it needed to be. It's a F6 double play. Welcome back inside the Cardinal Playbook, where our guest this segment is Dustin Combs, the head softball coach of Jewel. Another good weekend on the road. You go 3-1 again. Let's talk about UMSL first, because as you said, number 10 in the nation. You get a split with them on the road, but their pitcher Perryman is the real deal. Did she face you in game 1?
She did, and she did what she's very capable of doing to any team. She no-hit us, and what you have to do in that situation to the best thing that could have happened for us was that game was over.
Yeah.
And regroup, and the girls, they talked to themselves with the coaches not around and got themselves fired up and came out in game 2. We were a completely different team. We played well in all aspects of the game. Rachel Hayden was phenomenal, as she's been, only allowing 1 earned run. Played so well defensively. Again, Eileen Greenwood had a great weekend defensively for us. We kept the game close, as you have to do, and it was a 2-1 game. It was a 2-0 game going into the 6th, and Rachel Hayden came up with a RBI double, and then Kelsey Morgan came in a situation where Perryman was brought in to shut out the game and hit a ball over the center field wall for the game winner.
I would say that's going to give you a lot of confidence going forward against that particular team and that pitcher, Perryman.
Yeah, it shows that we can hit anybody that we see. She's so good, and she's intimidating. She has the presence in the circle, and she's got great stuff. So you can't go in expecting to score 5, 6, 7 runs against her. You're going to have to keep the game close with your defense and your own pitching, and then hope to get a situation where you can get a big hit.
I want to talk to you about how good Rachel Hayden has been for the last few weeks, but first let's go and talk a little bit about Maryville on Sunday in the sweep.
Okay. Game 1, we threw Rachel out there again on short rest. She was a little sluggish, I would say, to start the game, but as the game built, she got stronger. Again, only allowed 1 earned run. The game went 9 innings, and she threw all 9 for us. Almost kind of gutted it out. She was getting tired in the 9th. She said, "I'm not ready to come out, but I'll let you know." And I knew at that point that she was going to give us everything she got. She just didn't know how much she had left in the tank. And fortunately for us, in the 9th, we had a big inning and put the game out of reach.
How'd you score those runs?
Jeez, this whole weekend's been a blur. It was actually just coming up, and they had thrown 4 different pitchers in the game, you know, just making the adjustments in a long game. You know, you're going to have some bad at bats, but what you hope is that you continue to get better every at bat and make some adjustments, and we did. Again, Kelsey Morgan had a home run on the day. Faith Song had a home run. Brittany Matson started feeling comfortable at the plate. She had a home run in the early innings. So, you know, that was a really good win for us because we had to play so well. I think I looked 17 ground ball outs without an error. We were solid defensively. Rachel was not letting them get good barrel on the bat. Our defense was superb, and then we got hitting when we needed to late in the game.
Second game against Maryville?
Second game we came out, and really I think maybe the win, you know, the way we won it, and kind of took the cells out of Maryville, because they're a good ball club, and we came out and scored 4 in the first. Again, a home run by Kelsey Morgan. A double by Rachel Hayden. We led off the game with a good offense, and you know, scored those 4 runs early in the game. Then didn't quit scoring. We scored a solo shot by Faith, I believe, in the third, and then one more run in the fifth, and so we were up 6-0. And at that point, you know, Faith had been keeping them off balance the entire game. Had only allowed one hit through 6. And again, we just played really well defensively.
Dustin, Rachel Hayden gets 2 wins over the weekend and is one of the best pitchers in the conference, especially over the last few weeks. But how about offensively? Is she coming alive here?
Yeah, she is. She had a really good weekend. In fact, she was 4 for 8 yesterday against Maryville. Had 2 doubles, had some RBIs, came up in big situations where she's expected to be doing the work. You know, she's the 3-hole for a reason. She's going to be in those situations, and we need her to come through, and she is. You know, she's had some adversity. She's had some things going on, you know, with the loss of her mother, and to think that that's only been 3 weeks ago is phenomenal. To see her focus, she realizes she's just got one more year left, and this is how she wants to go out, and she's been so good, both offensively and defensively, over the last 3 weeks.
Where do you stand in the conference right now, and what do you need to do to get in the tournament?
Well, that weekend was huge. We went from being 5th to 3rd overall on our side, and I believe 5th overall in the conference. You know, I think what we got to do is build on it. This next weekend's not going to be easy. You know, with Truman coming in, and Quincy. Truman, you know, last polls was number 25, and they're sitting 2nd on our side, and Quincy I think they had a 4-0 weekend. So we realize that we've got to build on this. We've got to take advantage of having some days off here, get some rest. You know, Erin Kramer behind the plate's been phenomenal, and she's called such. You know, we forget sometimes that, you know, we let her call every pitch we've thrown this year, and so our pitchers are successful because of what Erin's doing behind the plate and the game she's calling, and she's been durable. You know, she's taken a beating back there, but she just continues to give us everything she got. I just passed her walking out of the training room. She took her first ice bath of her career, but she's got to do that. Yeah, she's got to take care of her body, and she's willing to do that, and so, you know, this week has got to be a week where we can build but also rest and try to get sharp for this weekend.
That's Dustin Combs, head coach of the Cardinal softball team, as they go 3-1 over the weekend on the road. I'll be back with the final word inside the Cardinal Playbook after this.
Strike 1. I'm the greatest hitter in the world! Strike 2. I'm the greatest hitter in the world! Strike 3. Wow! I'm the greatest pitcher in the world! Yes!
Optimism. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
And that's Inside the Cardinal Playbook for this week. We want to thank all of our coaches and Associate Athletic Director Joel Lueken as well for joining us this week. We'll be back with more Inside the Cardinal Playbook next week.